stopping you, but you'd rather just deny. I'm walking on a broken roof while I'm looking at the sky. So false love and affection. You don't want me, you just like the attention. Yes.
Hey everyone, it's Caitlin. This video is going to be about my consciousness raising meetings, and the topic that I chose for this project was how femininity is represented in media. Both meetings were held at my house with drinks and food available to everyone. Although we tried to cover all aspects of media, most of our discussions went back to television and advertisements and music. A little bit of music and books were mentioned as well. I had two meetings. My original meeting was just to kind of break the ice with everyone. I knew everyone, so that was nice for me, but to kind of break the ice within the group, they were mostly friends and family of friends. I tried to get each generation involved. I wish I would have gotten more of older, over 60 kind of in there, but it was mostly 20-somethings, college age women, and then a few who were a bit older, in their 50s, and a couple in their 30s. So it could have been a little bit more diverse. They were also all white women. It would have been interesting to see how that would have changed with a different dynamic of women. The terms we discussed in the first meeting were things like gender and sex and what it means to be socially constructed, appropriately feminine, which in the following pictures on the left you'll see a woman who is in a blouse for work. What would you would think to be an office setting, but you have to make sure she has ruffles so she appears to be womanly still, not have too much power. And on the right you can see a mannequin in a suit with a belt around her waist to make sure that you know she still has curves. The feminine ideal makes unrealistic assumptions for what women should be. You should have the mouth of Angelina Jolie, the eyes of Mila Kunis, and Shakira's hair. We talked about how controversial femininity is and how only women can be feminine. Men being feminine is a negative trait. It's seen as bad. We started off the second meeting with a few questions about femininity, what it is to them, and what culture defines as feminine. The major themes that I noticed people were saying was the idea of being soft and approachable. You have to be approachable to be feminine. You have to be sexy to men. You have to be beautiful to be feminine, and that all women should. This was something to keep women in a submissive role. It was at this point in the meetings that I took the time to say and affirm the point that femininity and being a woman are not necessarily hand in hand all the time, and how important it is to, in my opinion, think of other ways that women should be seen, because this idea of femininity, the 1950s idea that to be a woman you need to be this perfect feminine figure of delicate, dainty, hold down the house, understand your man, that this isn't the way the world or society should look at women anymore, and get past this. So this is when we started talking about, America's Next Top Model and pageants, and how this is just one idea of what a woman should be, and then looking more at, politics, how women in politics are treated. Women in politics are seen to be really conniving. Every statement that is used to describe a woman in politics takes every negative aspect of being in power and uses it against women. And any showing of emotion for women in politics is seen as negative. They should not be able to do that. After about half an hour into the second meeting, people started getting really, really into the discussion, really adamant about how important it is for young women to understand how what it means to be a woman, and how it was funny. One of the participants was talking about how women are often used and abused, and that's how life is for a woman, and you have to overcome that and work past that. And she mentioned how there's a lot more in media now of outspoken women, or what you would say as outspoken women, standing up for what they believe in and not allowing this submissiveness. So in this way, they were saying that the dynamic of what it used to mean to be feminine has changed, and we're moving past that in society and in media, particularly in television shows. So that was kind of cool. And then it was funny, there was a bit of a debate between two people about Orange is the New Black, that show, and how I forget the name of the character, but she's the only character in the prison that does her hair and makes sure to like wear lipstick and stuff, so she maintains her feminine appeal and her femininity even within the prison. And the two people in the meeting were saying that one was saying that this is stupid to be doing this in prison, and the other one was like, no, well, it's good for her if that's how she wants to feel, if that's what makes her feel good about herself, then that's what she should be doing. So it was interesting to see that kind of difference in thinking between these two women. So overall, I would say that the meetings went really, really well. I was glad that I was able to, I think, really capture what consciousness raising was about, was creating that safe space and being able to let women talk about, agree upon, disagree upon, discuss, analyze these ways in which we're impacted by whatever topic that we wanted to talk about. But I feel like after these meetings that each of the women in the meetings were able to look and and analyze more clearly what they're seeing every day, and is this a negative or a positive connotation? Is this something that I want to use for myself? Is this something that is useful to me? Is this something that I don't want to associate with? Is, thinking critically instead of just taking at face value what we're seeing and just ingesting it. So I think in that aspect that the meetings went really well. However, I feel like I did get a bit off topic, off of my proposal. My proposal was originally about femininity, and then it kind of turned into how women are viewed in media, and I wanted to spend a little bit more time about men being feminine, but the conversation, it got in there a little bit, but I wish I would have spent a little bit more time on that, having the women in the group think about how femininity is not just one exact, precise category. It's more of a spectrum. But personally, I enjoyed that part of the experience, sitting down, talking to all these women, seeing them who previously, at the beginning, before the first meeting, weren't very conversational towards each other, just really getting hands-on and talking about what was bothering them, what they thought needed to be fixed, and it seemed like we really captured what consciousness raising was all about. That being said, yeah, I think I would do something like this again. I think that being in the actual setting of the meeting kind of brought more meaning to all the discussions and all the readings that I had to do over this past semester for Women's Studies 202, and I just wish I would have had more diversity in my meeting with different types of women from different backgrounds, with different privileges, with different disadvantages, and then seeing how that would have affected the discussion.